Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the very next episode of The Remedy with Tova Sido and
Janice Gaunt and
Tom Bridwell.
Yay, I love that music. I really just kind of wanted to get up and dance. We could have a dance off.
Groovy.
I think I heard you say one time that it was Fish, and it's not, believe it or not. That's actually me and 3 other dudes. We made that song.
You?
Yeah, about 10 or 12 years ago, we made that song. Believe it or
Do you have words?
You know,
Does it
we
have
never talked
lyrics?
about this, Tova, but we have a mutual friend, Jeff Wade.
Oh, my God. Why? How do you know Skin?
I don't really know. I think I met him back when he worked at the Ticket. I'm good friends with Reiner and Danny Bayless.
Oh,
and so,
you're friends with Reiner.
yeah.
Could we all get together?
Absolutely.
Could you have a dinner party?
Absolutely.
And invite us.
Yeah.
But I met Jeff through guys at the Ticket. Anyway, he was purchasing instrumental music for like commercials and production music, and that's one of the tracks that we submitted to him.
Oh, wow.
So that's why we're using it, because we have the rights to it.
Oh my gosh.
How did you put 2 and 2 together that I knew him?
From your social media, from your Instagram. I think
okay.
I saw a picture, or maybe from his.
Okay.
There was a picture of you and I think maybe your ex-husband. He was Topher friends with.
Topher's very good friends.
Yeah,
We all went to high school
It was like a
together.
high school picture of them.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I know exactly the
and
picture
I was
you're
like,
talking
oh my
about.
gosh, what a small world.
Jeff Wade asked me to prom.
That's insane. That's crazy.
I know. Senior prom.
Yeah.
With Skin. I know. Now I'm like watching him on TV and I'm like, wow. That's
What
funny.
does he do on TV?
He's the Mavs guy. He does the Mavs.
Oh.
He's the third. He's kind of the third wheel on the home broadcast, on the television broadcast.
I know exactly who that is.
He's precious.
He's awesome.
He is awesome.
Yeah.
And he used to have a show on the Ticket with Ben and Skin.
Oh.
Do you remember Ben and Skin?
Now he's back he's at that new station with Mike Reiner called The Freak.
Right.
Oh, yeah. How's that doing, by the way?
I listen to the Downbeat almost every day. I like it. I hate to say this, but I like it more than Corby and Bob.
Oh, really?
For me, it's more fun. But
Jeff
So what
Wade
time is that
so
on?
Funny.
from 3 to 7, it goes directly against the hard line, like their main competitors now.
And how do you find the
Freak? Okay, so they have, there's an app called iHeartRadio.
Yep.
97.1 The Freak is on there, or you can just listen to 97.1 they took over the
on
Eagle.
the radio.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 97.1.
97.1. I'm writing
And
it
Jeff
down.
Wade is hilarious.
Yes, Jeff and Skin Ben and Skin do the midday show on The Freak. And then right after that is Ryan's new show called The Downbeat. And Danny Bayless, Mike Reiner, Mike Soroy, and Groobs. So it's like familiar faces.
Oh, 97.1?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to get it on in my car.
Well, there you go.
Good.
Okay, we need to thank our sponsor for today, Chandra Burris.
Chandra, thank you.
Thank you, Chandra
I
Burris.
like the name Chandra.
You would love Chandra, too. She is just solid gold. She's one of those people that, like, always says what she does and does what she says. And
Yeah, like
she's
that.
just good people. Really good people.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you, Chandra. Okay, today we're going to kind of do a follow-up show from a conversation we started last week about body image. And this week, we found an article. I thought it might be fun to talk about how to care less what people think.
Love it.
And so this article was written April 27th, 2022, How to Stop Caring What Other People Think, 15 Expert Tips to Not Give a F.
Is that what it says?
That's exactly what it says.
I like it. This goes right along with my favorite saying in the world, which is, what you think of me is none of my business.
I used that yesterday.
I love
counseling somebody.
Yeah, I love it.
It is a powerful thought.
It is.
Because we sure make what other people think about us our business.
We do.
Yep.
Yeah, I ran for cheerleader for 42 years.
So these are some tips on how to not care what people think.
Okay, let's hear them. Or let's start with them.
So this article was it said, in addition to Kaplan, we spoke with Dr. Joanne Frederick, a licensed mental health counselor and author of Copology, and Dr. Robin Graham, author of You, Me, and Anxiety. And here are their top tips for not caring what other people think of you.
Great.
Number one, identify your values.
Love it.
What are your values? They're only the why behind everything you do. Why do you think it's important to know, to identify your values? How does that affect how I let other people's thoughts penetrate my soul?
Well, if you know your values, then that will be almost like armor for not getting too wrapped up with what other people think. So, and I, for example, I honestly and truly never evaluated what my values were until I got a divorce. And when I started going to Al-Anon and did all those inventories and everything on myself, I realized that I didn't have any idea what my values were. I mean, my religious values were just what everybody had told me to believe, and all of that. And so I think that what our identity really is our values. What do I value? Honesty? Do I value sleep? Do I value friendships? All of the things that are really the essence of who I am gives me protective device from really caring what other people think.
Totally. And sticking to the things and not apologizing for the things that you do value.
Yeah, and how many people do you know that say, I'm sorry all the time?
Too
I'm
many.
sorry. I was so late. I'm sorry.
Too many.
Or, I would, and I do not say I'm sorry because I think that's telling me that I stink or I'm not worthy. Now, if I need to make an amends, then I will say, you know what, I apologize for my behavior or what I said, or I apologize for making you wait or whatever. But I don't say I'm sorry anymore. I eliminated that from my vocabulary when I started figuring out who I was, because I just apologized. I was just, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't be there, rather than I just can't be there. I
use that a lot. I had never heard that until you brought that to my attention. And I think that it is an incredibly powerful, and I catch myself, like sometimes I'll say, oh, I'm so sorry for da-da-da. Now I'll say, I sincerely apologize for any inconvenience.
Yeah.
But there's nothing about me that's sorry.
No.
No. So I think it's incredibly powerful.
Well, when you say, I'm sorry, you go down.
Yeah.
You feel like you've pushed yourself down.
Yeah.
If I say, I apologize, that feels real grown up.
Yeah,
and
great.
Self-assured, because I can apologize for my behavior, maybe my attitude, tone of voice, or whatever. I'm not going to be perfect. So I can apologize for that and still be upright and not go down because I'm human.
It's really, really, really good.
Can't get around my humanness.
Yeah. Really good. I love this one. So yesterday, you'll appreciate this. Craig and I are starting to do premarital counseling.
Oh, yeah?
And
good.
So we went and saw the guy that you recommended, Billy Grammer.
Oh, good. I love Billy Grammer.
Yeah, he was very interesting and insightful. But one of the things that he said that is so important in a happy and healthy marriage is to make sure that Craig and I are perfectly aligned in our values. Like, I value some things in our relationship that he doesn't necessarily. They have traditionally not been in his value. I value a lot of connection, vulnerability, total transparency, emotional availability, and not that Craig doesn't value those things, because he does, but not to the degree that I do. And so sometimes, because those values are different, we can get amok, because I take offense that things that I think should be as important aren't as important to him.
It's not a value.
It's not a value.
Yeah. But it should be.
Yes. That's what.
Let me establish your value system, please.
Exactly.
Then we'll get along great.
Then we're going to have a beautiful vision for our marriage.
Yeah.
But, we all have a vision for our relationships, but it's really important. And that's why I love this one. I love that it's number one. Like, pick your values, make sure you understand your values. But I think even in relationships, I don't think we should have to apologize or change or morph into anybody else's value system. It's just being understood and appreciated from my value system.
Well, and I think that sometimes, if there's too big of a discrepancy between a value that is vitally important, then that could be a deal breaker.
Absolutely.
Like if I value fidelity and you don't, then that's not going to work for me.
But isn't that insightful?
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a basic thing, and
even like how you spend money or
absolutely
where you want a vacation. I mean, there's all sorts of things. Making up the bed, all of those things.
You keep the house.
Yeah, exactly. So that is interesting.
Yeah.
So Tom, do you and Maureen, how did y'all ever have these big talks about your value system or anything?
No, I don't think so. We didn't.
Do y'all align on most things?
Yes. When we were dating, I mean, one of the things that drew me to her is how similar we were in aspects of our lives. I mean, we sort of got a late start. I mean, we started dating when I was 38, or 37. So, lucky we were both kind of mature, because we'd lived a little before we got together. So we kind of, that was the only way it was going to work, was for us we were recognizing that we were similar in certain ways. And I really liked her as like a person. I was mostly attracted to her mind. I think I said that in a previous podcast.
Yeah, you did. I liked
the first
that.
one.
And so it was just kind of, we were like a perfect fit for each other. And everyone kind of told us that as we were dating through that whole process. The first year, I would hear that often.
That's cool.
Oh, it's so
you guys
cool.
are similar. Was something I heard all the time.
Yeah. Love that.
It definitely helps.
Of course. I mean, I do think it's a vital part of, and I don't know that, like you said, Tom, you guys never had that conversation, but it was this thing that was happening, whether you put a name or voice to it or not, but it is true. And it is like the things that bring us together, and it can be the very things that tear us apart.
Yeah. And I think that what's interesting about all of that too, is that when you're dating, and if you're watchful, they will show you what their value system is.
Exactly right.
I remember sitting, and I dated a couple of guys that were oglers, they would ogle women, like look at them up and down, and it's real creepy. They were like eye-effing, them. And I remember the very first date that Tom and I had, we went to this restaurant, and this really beautiful woman walked in and walked by us, and I noticed her, and I looked at her, and Tom looked at her, and then looked right back at me. He didn't spend one extra minute following that
one
woman.
extra second.
Yeah. And I was like, yes, that is
There's
amazing.
my guy. There's my guy.
He's probably familiar with the Seinfeld episode where Jerry is like, you treat other women like they're the sun. You get a glimpse and look away. You have to do it in an instant, and that's all you get.
That's exactly
That
right.
might be some of the best advice that the Seinfeld show ever extended to man.
Yeah, that is hilarious, but it's so true. And I was so relieved that
men
he
have
didn't.
no idea how much that means to a woman.
Oh, it feels awful when it's something else.
And it feels so good. I mean, I've told Craig, I think Giselle could be dancing naked in front of you, and you'd be like moving your head, like, "Where's Tova?" Like, he wouldn't even see her. It's like, and the security and that comes with that feels so good.
Yeah,
I
it
really
does.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is pick your people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this one can take a while. Like, you know, when you're growing up and you're in high school and you're college, you kind of do have some forced friendships because you're a cheerleader with people, or you're in the band with people, or you're in a sorority with people, you know, or you live in the same neighborhood. But I really think there's something beautiful about growing up and maturing where you can start
Picking.
Yeah. And you know, if you don't add to my life and I don't add to your life, then let's just call a spade a spade.
Yeah. Well, and that can be an acquaintance. You know, that can be somebody that you know and you say hi when you see them in the or you're in the front yard or something like that. But to pick your real
Like your
people,
tribe, your people?
Yeah, that's something special. And it has to work.
And it should. I know so many people who just, I'm like, why do you hang out with that person? Like, why do you continue to put yourself in that position? Because our people should absolutely fill us up and add to our lives. And all of my people do. And if you don't, then you're not my people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't spend time with mean girls. I don't spend time with, I really believe that none of my friends, call me naive, I don't think one of my friends talks bad about me.
Oh, I don't either.
I mean, I don't think
so.
you would ever surround yourself with people.
No.
But in high school, I sure did.
Oh, yeah.
And in college, I did.
Yeah.
And even post college, you know, I had some stragglers for way too long. And it's like, it feels so good to get to the point in life where it's like, but I sure wish I got there earlier.
Well, the loyalty in friendship is the number one thing for me. If I don't feel like my friends have my back, then I don't really have time for it at all.
I totally agree.
It's a great gift. I mean, that's what friendship is to me.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, we can pick our people.
We can. And it's a beautiful part of growing up.
It is.
Distance yourselves from judgy people.
Yeah. Yeah.
No brainer.
No brainer.
If I think somebody's talking about me, the easiest thing for me to do is distance myself from that person.
I agree.
I've got no time for that in my life.
No.
Clean up
as you get older, I think you start to recognize that's an easy one. I think as you get older, you can a judgy person is just kind of such a repulsive thing.
Yeah.
When you're young,
Yeah.
and you sort of, I feel like that is when you care about what people think. And as you get older, this is a bad habit that sort of goes away. But the judgy person, I mean, you'd have to be just asleep if you are in your 40s or 50s and dealing with a friend who's judgy.
Oh, but I think there are a ton
Oh, yeah.
of gossipy, judgy, unkind, mean girls, mean guy. I mean, I think that exists every bit as much as it did in high school for people my age, your age, any age.
I don't really
You see
feel
those
that.
people.
Oh.
I mean, maybe you see them like at
So
at
feel
school
that.
or at church.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if I ever really would invite those people like to my house.
No, they would never
Oh,
be
no.
invited to
They
my
could
house.
never sit around this table, could they?
Yeah.
No.
I think just because my exposure to different churches and communities, like my kids are still in high school, like Craig's kids are still in high school. I've definitely seen that dynamic exist.
Oh, that's really interesting
But
because I really don't at all. But that's because I think we're all my friends are just too tired.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know, and I don't, and I'm not out to make a bunch of new friends. I would be glad to meet people that I enjoy and that they enjoy me, but I wouldn't have any place for people that are real judgmental.
But think about when your girls were in high school. You may have not been friends with those people, but those people existed in the community.
Yeah, I guess I don't really remember. I mean, I think I was, well, see, when my kids were in high school, I was in the process of getting a divorce and trying to figure all of that out. I was going to grad school, moved, was building a little house, so
You
I
weren't
didn't.
a stay-at-home Highland Park mom.
Well, I was really busy, but
Yeah.
but I mean, I had a lot of friends that were stay-at-home, HP moms, and they
I'm
were
not
great friends.
Putting them in a category because I think they're lovely. I don't think it's a specific community situation. I just think I am like working at the church. I was exposed to large groups of people and a large, big differences in people. And I had to be exposed to people that I wouldn't necessarily be friends with.
I can see that for sure.
Yes, but I kind of had to put up with.
Yeah. No moss.
Yeah, no moss. I think this one's really good. Clean up your social media. Clean up your news feed.
Yeah.
Like, be careful what you're watching.
Yeah.
Is there any? I know that I don't think this is a problem for you and I because we've talked about it. But I think this is so important, especially for people who grew up with social media, because the way that people, even in adulthood, who grew up with social media, look at social media is very different from the way that you and I look at social media. Like, I can look at social media and I could see that you went to Bora Bora. And
I did. I don't remember. That's so scary.
Or next week, if you post pictures of you in Hawaii, I'm going to be like, oh my God, that's amazing. And like, look how cute her and Tom are. But a lot of people who grew up with social media, instead of looking at it like that, their mind, it's like a trained to only see deficiency in them.
Or in themselves or in the people who have posted.
Mostly in themselves.
Yeah. Why can't I go there? Why
I've
can't
never
I
been to Hawaii.
Yeah.
God, look how happy her and Tom look.
Yeah.
Look how
Well, it gives you-
I'm not even married. When am I going to find a guy? Like,
It totally gives you a totally idealistic perspective on life. And it can be very disheartening and can really pull people in a bad negative space. I think that I am so grateful for my children not having all these social media things when they were in high school.
oh,
Because there was none of it.
yeah. For me either. For you.
Yeah.
I mean, it just wasn't. So I don't look at social media. My brain has not been trained, because I think if I had social media when I was 15, I would have looked at what I don't have instead of celebrating what you do have.
Yeah, I agree.
Because my mind was just too young and I was insecure and I was a teenager. But unfortunately, I think there's something about their brain that stays in that mindset instead of looking at your pictures of Hawaii and being like, oh my God, look how cute her and Tom are. Or, God, that's so fun. She got a vacation. And, oh man, that resort looks amazing. Like, they see, God, I could never afford that resort. God, I don't look like that in a swimsuit. Man, my marriage is not that happy. God, I wish I could go to, I've only been to Maui. I haven't been to Waikiki. It's like they see all their deficiencies.
Well, and that comes from not having a positive self-image. When all you see are the deficiencies in your own life, you're certainly not going to be you're celebrating what everybody else is doing, and then you get mad about it, and then you start being critical of it and gossiping about it and all of that. But I think social media can really do a number
on your brain.
Personally, I don't even know how they coexist. If you're really trying to not worry about what people think, it doesn't. I don't know how Instagram or Facebook can even be possible, because that's really all you're doing is showing people like it's like,
so that they can have a
so that they can look and see you and comment, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just so those things don't seem to go
You're
together.
Exactly right, Tom.
Yeah. It is. No, I absolutely.
Really good point.
It really is a good point. So a few weeks ago, this radio person asked me to do these interviews on Fox Radio and on the news station and stuff, and we were talking about flip phones because that's a real new hot fad. And
to go back to the flip
yes,
phone?
and one of the positive aspects of the flip phones coming back is you don't have those apps.
The feed.
You don't have the feed, and how a lot of kids are doing that. And one of the other things is then their parents can't trace them either because you don't have that app. So you can't. And I'm so glad I didn't have that app when my kids were in high school.
Been screwed.
Yeah, Tom, I feel sorry for you.
I was never.
Oh,
at
Betty's
the
not
movies.
getting a phone until she's 13, 16 if I can help it.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
But it was, really and truly, because kids get very insecure if they're comparing.
Of course.
And it's just, yeah.
And that in turn, I think, has increased massively anxiety and depression.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Because
I think all that goes hand in hand.
Yeah, it really does. It's really interesting because one of the things that I am so excited about at this stage of my life is that I'm not jealous of anything or anybody.
I don't think I am either.
I can't think of anything. I mean, every now and then I'll see a pair of shoes and I'm like, ooh, I kind of want those.
But I think wanting those and then being jealous of those are two very different feelings.
I just don't feel like I'm
envious
lacking.
No, me neither. I said that the other night when I was when I was watching the In Poulter thing. About the Live Golf and how he'd made $35 million, but then he went and took $20 or $30 million to go. And I thought, God, like, how much is enough?
I know.
Like, when would it ever be enough? And then I thought to myself, and I said to Craig, I was like, I think I have enough.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, like, if somebody offered me $30 million, I'd take it. And we'd go to Bora Bora.
We would go to Bora Bora, and it would not be Bora Boring.
If the Saudis offered you $30 million, you'd take it?
No.
Okay, see that is the thing with the Live debate is where that money's coming from.
I totally agree
every
with
one
that.
of the golfers would take the money, but only a few are doing it because of where the money's coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Real quick, back to what you were saying about being jealous. Lately I've been looking at other studios. And
I was so interested in what you were about to say.
Me too.
Looking at what?
Well, I wouldn't say that I'm jealous,
is way
but
benign.
I'll be on I'll go on Instagram and see other competitors, other people that have studios in Dallas and also around the country. And they'll be posting like almost every other day with some artist and some project that they're doing. And I think I'm not jealous of that, but I think to myself, should I be advocating for myself like that, where I have to get a picture of every person that comes in and records here and put that up so that I sort of appear relevant, even though that's not what makes me relevant is my Instagram feed.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. It's
the $1 million question that I think we all have.
Should I be my own cheerleader like these other places are, or is that vain? Or is that advertising? Or is it both? Like it's this strange.
Is it smart or is it like pompous?
Well, I think it depends what your motive is. Is your motive to build your business? And I guarantee when this book comes out, I'm going to be posting about it.
Yes.
Because I want to sell the book.
Yeah, you worked really hard on it.
Because I've worked really hard on it. And so, so is that my motive? Yeah. Is it, so I think it can be one or the other. And I think it's when you go inside and you think, okay, what is your ultimate goal? Do you want your business, Tom, to just get bigger and bigger and bigger? Or are you content with the way it is right now? Or, like your studio, I would be so sad if you left this studio. It is the coolest place ever to
And
sit
I'm never
in.
leaving it. I just
Good.
feel sometimes like it's bragging or tooting my own horn in kind of a braggy way whenever I make posts. It's like, oh, look who I got to record today. And really, I'm just trying to like do what other studios are doing.
I think that's smart.
But it doesn't
I think
feel
that's smart
natural.
business.
It feels like I'm bragging.
Well, you are advertising.
Yes.
You know, and
Use that word instead of bragging.
And that's what in my mind, I justify it because I'm just trying to advertise that we're here and still working and everything. But I don't know. It's just sometimes it feels weird. And even when I see other people do it, I'm kind of like, God, look at you bragging that you're.
I think people would trust your motive.
Oh, I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
I really
It's interesting.
don't.
It's just
So
such
true.
a weird, fine line.
Well, I don't think it matters what other people think. I think what matters is your own motive.
Definitely.
And I think if you, like people who know you, you are not a real braggadocious man. You know, I mean, if anything else, you are
Very humble.
very humble and kind and gracious and all of that. So if you posted that you had blah, blah, blah in your studio and I saw it, I'd be like, oh my gosh, that is the coolest thing ever. I would never think, oh, he's bragging. I really wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
And I think
would
the
think it's
reason
your
I
business.
think that is because maybe I've seen other people do it and they do it in a way that is sort of braggy. But I don't know. And it's not just studios. I see other people that
it's
I
with
know that
everything.
have their own businesses, like, you know, content creators or fashion bloggers or it's kind of this weird. It's just the weird thing about using Instagram to promote yourself is that it sort of can come off like you're self-centered and talking, hey, me, look over here.
Yeah, but I just think it's the way the world advertises these days.
Yeah.
You know, it's the way of the world.
It's certainly a free way to do it. I mean, rather than paying to put it in a magazine or a newspaper.
Well, and you know what's interesting about this whole conversation? I guess I'm just like, I don't know, maybe I'm just in la la land. I never think about people bragging. I never look at it and think. I don't spend a whole lot of time on it. I rarely go to Facebook, but I do look at Instagram some. But I never think, oh my gosh, they're just bragging or they're showing off. I really don't. I just always think,
I don't either, Janice. I don't either. And if they're using it to promote something that they're doing, I actually think they're smart. And I actually could think, God, I should probably do more of that. But I also understand, Tom, the push-pull of like, how do I want to make sure I come across as blank, you know, whatever
Yes.
it is. Like,
yes. And I don't
the
think
approach is important.
I think people who know you, or at least I've not known you very long, but I just never have gotten that vibe from you at all. I think you could post all day long about what you're doing and you know and I
what
do
you're
think
capable
and
of.
what you're capable of and I do think it would help your business grow if that's what you're wanting and because it is kind of what we do. And you know, this whole podcast thing, I had a client the other day that said she wanted to do a podcast, and I said, well, I'll give you the guy's name that we work with because he's so good. And I gave her your name, and you know, I mean, yeah, you might as well.
Yeah.
You know,
What do you have to lose?
Yeah, nothing.
And if somebody was to look at it and be like, God, he's so braggy, like,
they'd just be jealous.
who cares?
Yeah,
Who cares about that
Well,
person?
I appreciate the kind words.
yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
And another suggestion, and I think this might be a good exercise for some people, is take a social media break.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good Lent exercise. You know, if a lot of people don't like to give up food or alcohol or what, you know, like the 40 days, you know how people give up stuff for Lent?
Yeah, I don't.
I don't either. But
don't.
I do know people who've given up social media.
Yeah.
And it was a really good exercise
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
So that's a suggestion. Number 6 is have fun. I look at that and I think probably don't take yourself so seriously. Yeah, it's not that deep.
And don't take life so seriously.
Yeah. Carter tells me all the time, Ma, it's not that deep. I'm like, God, that's such a good saying. That is it is just not that deep. Like we are all walking around like it's that deep and it is not that deep.
It's not very
Thanks,
deep
Carter.
at all.
It's not that deep. Be okay with not pleasing everyone.
I learned that. I really did. And I love that.
Oh, God.
I don't people please anymore.
I think that really goes back to the primary loyalty triangle that we talked about.
Yeah.
If you haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen to it. It's so good.
It is a good one.
Okay, you can care about what some people think. They're in your triangle. And
Yeah.
even some of those, I'm not going to put a whole lot of stock into if they don't approve of something that I do or think or whatever.
Yeah. I don't think I'm that important in that many people's eyes. I don't think that they are, I don't, and I don't think people probably think a whole lot about me.
That's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, look, they're going to have a 2-minute conversation. We're basing our whole lives on what other people think. I'm like, let me tell you something. They're going to be like, oh, did you hear? Da-da-da? Okay. Do you want spaghetti or lasagna for dinner?
Exactly.
I mean, it's just, you're exactly right.
And then I'd be like, what'd they say?
Number 8, let it go.
Yeah.
Boy, if
Let
we
go
held
and
on,
let God. One of my favorite sayings. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and just hold on to everything a little bit more loosely. Attachments can be not that amazing. Number 9, don't compare and despair. Comparing yourself to others is a slippery slope that can leave you feeling ashamed of your own accomplishments. Why would you ever feel ashamed of your accomplishments?
I'm happy to have a couple.
Me too. Why are we hiding those?
I don't know.
Practice self-acceptance. What does that look like for you, Janice?
Oh, it's real. It's. I am really my favorite person.
Say more.
I mean, I have a right. I mean, where I am right now in my life, I have absolute acceptance. The arms, it's a little funky.
The crepey skin on the arms.
Claire gave me a shirt and it's sleeveless. I'm going to have to give it back to her because I really don't wear sleeveless things because of the crepey arms. They remind me of my sweet grandmothers. But I just don't care very much about outside of my family and my friends. And, I just don't really care at all what people think about me.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, what you think of me is none of my
business. And there is so much freedom in that.
Oh, my gosh.
What is the antithesis of crepey arm? Oscar
Types.
Mayer wiener arm?
Yeah.
Yes, that would be good.
Yeah. That's a really good. Yeah. Wouldn't have really gone that route.
If we're going food,
I wasn't really thinking in terms of crepey wieners.
Yeah. You're meaning like crepe, like the food, right? That's what you mean when you say that?
No,
like crepe paper.
Okay, I was like trying to figure out what the hell is she talking about?
You don't have them. So the antithesis is your arms, Tom.
Okay, so
When
yes, because I'm like,
know.
how does an arm look like a crepe?
My arms don't yet, but my legs are starting that road, and it's
The only time my arms look really good is when it's just totally lathered in oil.
well, that's good advice. I'll put my little golf skirt on. I'll be like, damn it. There it is. Damn it.
What's crepey on you?
My legs.
Your knees
my thighs.
are crepey?
Don't. Yes.
I don't think so. I've seen them.
honey.
I've never seen crepey legs on you.
Yeah, but I'm looking at my legs. You're not. I'm looking at my legs. I got
Well,
crepey legs.
are your arms crepey?
Not yet.
Oh, see, that's good then.
Yeah, it's coming, which I will gain full acceptance for when it's here. My arms have not done that yet, but my legs are well on their way.
Oh, well, I hadn't noticed, so there you go.
There you go. Here's a good remedy. Focus on curiosity and gratitude. Mm-hmm. Why curiosity?
I just think it's expansive of our brain.
Yeah, this says curiosity will help you understand others and give you the opportunity to build relationships instead of isolating yourself or others. And gratitude can help us navigate fear. That's good.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good.
It says keep a brag book. Have you ever done that? Oh, you do your alphabet. Yeah.
I do.
Is that what you were about to talk about? So why don't you remind people of that?
Well, what I do, I learned this way back when I first got my divorce because I was so depressed and felt so pitiful and sorry for myself and nah. And so I started doing a me walk. And when I was on my walk, I would start with the letter A and I would come up with something about myself that starts with the letter A. Like, I really like my attitude. Okay, B, I really like my blue eyes. C. And I would go all the way through the alphabet, and I did it over and over and over again to just kind of fall in love with myself as far as cute. Just like I would if it were a friend that was there with me. And I realized that I had never, ever, ever taken a positive inventory of myself, ever. I did an inventory of myself when I was doing Al-Anon and doing 12 steps, but it's not so much about a positive inventory. And so that was it. It really made a difference for me. And if you're going to do it, go through the alphabet. But when you get to the letter X, you can do EX.
Oh, extra special.
But and it really is amazing. It's an amazing thing to do because you will come up with something for every letter that's positive.
Did you get the giggles sometimes while you were thinking about it?
Yeah. I mean, it was so fun for me.
I think that would be really fun.
It was really fun. And I mean, I would tell my girls, okay, bye girls, I'm going on my me walk. And they're like, oh gosh, she's so weird. But I really do encourage people to do that. I mean, I don't care how old you are, where you are in life, you need to fall in love with yourself again. Yeah, if you're not.
I think that's so good. I think that there's people who probably hear you say, I am my favorite person, and that feels so far away for them.
Yeah.
And so, but the encouragement is at the time, it also felt so far away for you.
I mean, I drove around and tried to figure out how to kill myself at one point.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty down and out. Yeah.
So there's a lot of hope in that exercise. 13 says, forgive yourself. I'm going to also add forgive others. I taught Bible study today, and the Apostle Paul, I was teaching Romans, he was talking about how the only way to like gain righteousness, which I think is happiness, like the best path for you is to accept grace, and that's essentially what he was saying in Romans 10. And I was like, think about that, like. The only obstacle between us and God, according to Paul, is not accepting grace.
Yeah.
And then I thought, imagine, okay, let's take that another step and imagine what that does when we also extend that grace. And, there's that saying, hurt people hurt people. And I think in grace is freedom. And from God and from others when we receive it and extend it. And there's that saying, hurt people, but I also think free people.
Yeah, I think so too. And when I think about forgiveness, I think about forgiving me freedom from that person.
That's it.
Yeah. And I mean, and there are times when I have to really, really work on that.
Sure.
And, but I love that. I'm glad that you said that because it really does keep us out of bondage.
I think it's the thing that keeps us.
Yeah. I remember my Al-Anon sponsor said, in order, you're the tail on the dog's rear, and they're just wagging you around with them. So you might as well get off.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Me too.
Try affirmations. You're really good at those.
Yeah, I love them.
What's your favorite affirmation?
Well, what you think of me is none of my business. And
Or some of your favorites?
that's one of my favorites. And today's going to be the greatest day of my life. I try to do that a lot.
That's great.
And let me think. I don't know.
I know it's so much harder when somebody puts you on the spot.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of them. You know, one day at a time, let go and let God, all of those things from 12-step programs. There really are. They have so many of those.
Good affirmations.
They really do. And it's just training your brain.
Yeah.
Just takes it from, it's like the puppy. You know, you pick up the puppy and you move them to the puppy pad, you know, so it's you gently take your brain and take it off of the perceived hurt of that other people are doing to you. I struggle with that a little. I have one person right now in my life that I'm having a really hard time with that, with myself. And I've been working on it. But, you know, I mean, there are...
What do you mean with yourself? What does that mean?
Well, like doing my mantras, you know. Don't let them have rent-free space in your brain.
Okay.
You know, let go and let God, and let, you know, move your brain back to something else. So, but, I mean, sometimes it's hard. It really is.
Oh, I think sometimes it's really hard.
Yeah, it is.
And then give yourself a reality check. It says the truth is no one thinks about you in your life as much as you do.
Isn't that the truth?
Realize
you mean people are not sitting around thinking about me?
I know. That's such a great reminder.
It is a great reminder.
Yeah. You know, I mean, even the people you love, as much as you love people, you don't really think of, like, we're all busy.
Yeah.
And we're all living our lives. And
yeah,
we're really not spending the time thinking about people the way that people think we're thinking about them.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're not thinking about us the way we think they might be.
Yeah, it's so true. And even if they are, then they have a responsibility to address it and fix it. Or like, what are you supposed to do about it? If I sat around and worried about, is she mad at me? I wonder what he thinks about me. Oh, I shouldn't have said it like that. That's so stupid. But there's people who really struggle with that.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
And that's tough.
It is tough.
That's tough.
Yeah.
So hopefully these little tips will help all of us along our path. Great reminders. That's it. We're 15.
Oh, perfect.
I know. We did that.
That was fast.
Bada bing, bada boom.
I really liked it a lot.
Yeah, great reminders for all of us.
Yeah,
huh?
I think so too.
Yeah.
Thank
Tom,
you guys
any
so
last
much.
minutes? Any last thoughts, Tom?
Nope, that's pretty much it. That's a wrap.
All right. That's a wrap. Have a
Thanks
great
for
week.
listening.